Tutorials, how to make a tote bag. Let's get it. Fuck your intro. Materials. I use some denim. You can use whatever the fuck you want. A ruler and some chalk. I guess you use a pen. It's a little more difficult. Do what you want. I ironed shit. I marked 14 inches across. And then I used that shit to make it straight. And then I used my ruler and I marked 30 inches down. Yeah, I marked 30 inches, then I marked 14 inches across a couple times, and then I made the straight line. It's pretty simple so far. And then I marked the end and cut it out, whatever. This part is me just sewing on random details and stuff that you'll see later. I wasn't going to go into detail about it because I know you guys are going to have your own details and your own stuff you're going to put on here, and it's going to be fire. That's me sanding some denim to make it a little more distressed. It didn't work that well. It worked better when I just like cut it and then sewed over it, like what I'm doing now, just sewing back and forth a bunch of times to add some, just kind of like a distressed type look. You'll see what it looks like. That's the heart. That's the sewing I did. And now across the top, you're gonna zigzag stitch. So basically across the short ends that are 14 inches long. You can do however long you want. I did 14 inches. I'm gonna zigzag on both sides. And then I marked, you can see it already. I marked 1.5 inches down, right there. And then I folded it over on that line and basically just top stitched. Make sure when you top stitch, the stitch length is a little more than 3 or anywhere up to between like 3 and 3.5, maybe even 4. It just looks a little better when the stitching is longer. Then I marked another line about 1.25 inches down, and top stitch over that as well. You can see right there. I didn't do 1.5 because it's folded over 1.5, and if I did 1.5, it would just be like right off the end. So it has to be a little shorter than what I measured, if that makes sense. And then, so I just added another stitch, 1 to make it look nice, and 2 so it's not flopping around on the inside, because there's a lot of extra fabric, like from when we folded it over. I don't know if anything I'm saying is making sense. I hope it is. I'll get better at making these videos. So yeah, I did that on both sides. You can see it looks very crispy. That's the inside with the zigzag. Whatever. Now on the long side, we can zigzag that as well. This is a little clearer on the settings I use for my zigzag. On the length, I go just under 1, and then obviously put it to zigzag on the bottom dial. And then for the width, I put it like up to 4, or depending on what I'm zigzagging, I usually go between like 3 and 5 on the width. The width is basically how wide it'll go, so how far into your fabric you'll be stitching, and the length is how far apart the zigzags are. So if you put the length longer, it's gonna be big ass zigzags. Yeah. Now I folded it in half with the inside facing out, and I just stitched down the side. That's what I'm doing there. So that's what it looks like. It's just stitched down the side, inside out. Then I marked about 3 inches from each side on both sides, flipped it over, did the same shit. I tried to mark it like in the middle. See right there, that shit did not work at all. It didn't really come off just because the way I was doing it. So yeah, that's not gonna work. I mean, I guess it might work if you have a Sharpie, but you'll figure it out. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the fold on the bottom, like line it up with the side seam, like how I'm doing. You pull on the sides. It's a little tricky, but once you get it, it's real simple. And then that line that you see marked in yellow, I just extended it all the way through, just to create like a triangle, and then I sewed that across. It's a little confusing. I can see how it's confusing just watching the video, and I don't know how to explain the shit. But once you do it, it'll make sense. Don't worry. And then I just iron them into the middle, the little triangles, and then I iron the seams to be flatter. You don't have to, but it just makes it look a little nicer and more professional and whatever. And then for the straps, I cut 24 inches long by 1.5 because my ruler is 1.5 inches wide. You can make it however wide you want and figure out what works for you. 24 is a good length for me. You're going to do 4. You're going to cut 4. I just cut 2 because I did my straps weird, but I was going to show you how to do them anyway. You'll see, I did them differently. But this is how I would do them. Basically, you're just going to sew down both sides Again, right side is facing right side, so outside out. And then you're going to sew all the sides shut except for one. You're just going to leave one side open. So now I'm doing both of the long sides, as you can see. Doing both of the long sides. And then when I get to the end here, it's a little hard to see, but basically I just turn it 90 degrees, bow, and I just sew the short side back and forth a couple times. I recommend going back and forth once or twice just to give it a little extra strength. I think it's worth it. So yeah, that's and then I zigzag the side. You see a little under one. This time I only went to 3 just because the seam is pretty close to the edge and I didn't want to zigzag past the seam that I already sewed, if that makes sense. Damn, my voice is shot. I recorded this like twice already. So anyway, I zigzagged the sides, and then that's what I did. That's what I'm doing now. And after that, this part is probably the trickiest. You're gonna take the side that's closed, so the short side that you sewed off, and you're gonna try to like tuck it in. And you see what I'm doing here? You try to like tuck it into the rest of the sleeve, let's call it, or really a strap, but it looks like a sleeve right now. And then you can use a pen or something to start it, to poke it in. And then what I did is I used like a piece of PVC pipe or something, just to, because the pen wasn't long enough. And you kind of roll it back onto the pipe. Once you see the end coming through like that, you can take it off. I went a little too far. You don't have to do that. And then you can just use your hands and just pull it all the way through. By the way, this strap is really short because I just cut a little piece of fabric to show you guys. But in reality, you would do it 24 inches long. I'll show you. My straps were weird. You'll see the bag at the end. And then I used blue, but you can use any color really. I just use blue because it matches, to do a rectangle, to just stitch a rectangle around the strap, as you can see. Just stitch all the way around. It just makes it lie a little flatter. It makes it look a little more professional. If you look on your grocery bags or whatever, it has the same shit. It's just stitched around. Yeah. So then, once you have that, there you go. That's what it looks like. That's the bottom. You can see it matches pretty well. Then, to add it to your bag, that's just a random piece of fabric because I didn't do my bag. But basically what I did is I go from the top left to the top right. Then I go from the top right to the bottom left. Now I'm going from the bottom. I don't know what I'm saying. It's too many directions. But basically, make a zigzag and you're going to be good. Like that. Yeah, just do that. And then you'll figure it out. As long as it has the zigzag, it looks cool and it'll be strong. This is the finished bag that I did. As you can see, I attached the straps a little weird. I added some hand stitching on the heart because I like that look. And then that's the back. A little Playboy bunny just because I had to put some there. You get the idea. Hope y'all fucked with it. Tag me if you make one. I want to see it. I know your shit's going to be fire. Yeah, man. Enjoy. Have fun. Let's get it.